a set of core values that we make our decisions here in the office, whether we hire somebody, fire somebody, whether we take a client or not. They all have to pass these core values. And you had mentioned you guys have some core values, and you personally have some core values. Why don't we talk about one of the core values that you have in mind?
Well, like I mentioned to you earlier, and it kind of dovetails with that approach I've told you, is to give the client the best solution for the best price. And so I've told clients before, when we quote a retainer or I give them an estimate of fees, I'll tell them, I would much rather charge you $50,000 and give you an 80% chance of winning than say charge you 25 and give you a 20% chance of winning. So I think most clients agree with that. Is they say, I want to spend as little as possible, but I want the best odds of winning. And don't charge me less and give me inferior service, and I lose and the money is lost, and I'm no better off. So I'll try to sit with them early on and tell them, here's where I think your case is strong. Here's where it might be weak. Here's the approach that I think would be best, and here are the odds. And so given the cost and the odds, and maybe custom tailoring a solution for them that maybe is not as orthodox as what they might hear from another lawyer, then let them decide and try to give them the solution or the answer that they want, and tell them this is the best way to get the outcome that you want. And it might be, usually it's through settlement, but like everything, you're going to get the best settlement if you've put yourself in a position of strength, or you capitalize on some leverage that you have, and try to do that for them at a fair price, and giving them the best solution, and maybe being creative about it, or like I said, taking a different approach that maybe another lawyer wouldn't be willing to do.
What I'm hearing you say is, you need to provide value to the clients. You need to show them that there's value, and people don't mind spending money if they can see a value. People buy Mercedes-Benz or other Toyotas. Why? Because they're going to last long. And so whatever the price is, they make a value determination. And it's that's so important in finding the right attorney. We tend to screen clients, and if they're price shopping, they're probably not our type of client, because we're not going to provide the cheapest service. And cheap is a word that's not allowed in our office. Inexpensive is not allowed in our office. Because we're providing a service that has a value, and you're one of my big referral partners. So, I know that you provide a great value. You have 2 board certifications. You have, 25 years of litigation experience. You have all the credentials, but then you also bring the common sense, like we've been talking. It's like, look, this is the way it is. Here's what you're realistically looking at. We can try this if you want to invest this much, but you're bringing that value to them of knowing, look, this is in the 25 years of experience, I can estimate what's going to happen. I can kind of predict the type of opponent we have, if it's going to be something that a letter or me just showing up to the case is going to be effective to push the other side one way or the other. So and that's how I talk my way out of litigation is I tell people, look, if I file a lawsuit, they're going to say, oh yeah, Mike's not going to do anything. He just shows up to court when somebody dies. So I tell them, I'm not the big scary lawyer. You need somebody who knows what they're doing, and you need somebody who's a very good litigator. And you're one of the people that I often recommend for litigation, just because you have that experience, you have the track record, and so when you come onto a case, it's like, well, we're not going to be able to just, pull the wool over this guy's eyes and say, oh, these aren't the droids you're looking for. Your case isn't really that strong. You've been around the block. You know when a case is good, you know when a case is weak, and the other side isn't going to be able to talk you out of your case. And so you bring that knowledge and that expertise. Plus, there are other attorneys, and the example I tend to use is the guys that can only remember one number. Those guys, they're not going to really know the depth of the issues. They're just going to file and do their process to try to get as much money as possible. Whereas my experience with you has been, you really look at the issues and you learn about whatever that industry is that you're dealing with. And I know here in Laredo, transportation, customs, those are really deep issues. I mean, you're even a licensed custom broker. I know you don't really practice that, but the fact that you have that license means you had to understand what it is. That test isn't an easy test. Most people don't pass it. So you have the knowledge on top of the procedural skill to get things going. So that's I think a huge value that you bring to the table when you're meeting with clients.
Well, I try to stress that, and it's nice. Usually your reputation is useful with the judge of the case, because the judge will know if you do good work, if you're ethical, if you've studied and you're familiar with the law and the facts and you're prepared. And it also helps, like you mentioned, with the opposing lawyer, if you have a reputation of knowing what you're doing and bringing value insofar as, well, if it's a case that's maybe got some weaknesses, this lawyer is more knowledgeable, so they know how to fix those weaknesses, or they know they're familiar enough with the area to approach the case from a different angle and make it a stronger case. And I've told people before, like, I've had people where we've had a breach of contract. And I said, well, yeah, it's a breach of contract case, and it's a very complicated contract, and it's hard to understand, and it's not real exciting as a breach of contract case. And I said, but if we made it a fraud case, it's a lot more attractive, and it's a lot easier to follow, and it's a lot easier to explain. And I had the client in that case say, well, I don't think it's a fraud case. I said, well, let's see how it goes. And sure enough, when we settled it at the end, the guy kept saying, but I've been defrauded. And I thought, this is a person who didn't think it was a fraud case at the beginning. So your reputation, will help you with opposing lawyers, with the judge, with your own client. I think hopefully they come to appreciate you and come to value you. With my work, which is a little different than yours, Mike, is with my work, there's already a problem. Yeah. You prevent problems. Yeah. And you do a good job of it, and you do it in a cost-effective way that makes a lot of sense and saves a lot of headaches. But the people who don't go see you, it's like a doctor. You do the prevention and the treatment. And if they don't go see you, then they come see me when they have the problem that they didn't prevent, right? Yeah.
He's the PCP. He's the primary care physician.
Right.
So
right.
that's actually the culture.
Yeah,
you're the surgeon. That's the culture that we're trying to create and foster. And you spoke briefly about it, about, they're coming to you with these, fireball cases. Like you said, they come to you and there's already a problem. And I can't help, but point out the other side, which is Mike's side. And we're trying to minimize you getting to that point, and not have you be the David to the Goliath. We're trying to, bolster up and inject that David with a little more steroids, with a little more protection, so that when they go up to that Goliath, they are better prepared. They are already better protected. But we appreciate you speaking with us today. And I love, seeing you guys work as a duo, and we're always happy to let people know that if they need a litigator here in Laredo, we always refer you.
Well, that's very kind of you. And I like
the feeling mutual.
The feeling's mutual. When I get something from Mike, he'll say, here's the problem, and here's why there's a problem, and here's the probable solution, but it's falling apart. So he's very good at telling me what the mess is and what it might take, but then he doesn't actually clean up the mess. He just said, I've kind of like when you get home and you say, I can spot the mess. Do I actually want to clean it up? No, but I can spot it, and I know why it happened.
Yeah.
So
I can tell you where it is. Very good.
Yeah. And I know what it's going to take to fix it. I just don't want to be the one to have to do it.
Yeah. Well, Baldemar, thank you again. If somebody needs to reach you, if somebody has a litigation problem, how is the best way to reach out to you or your website?
If they Google Baldemar Garcia Laredo, they'll find the website. The initials of my firm are behind me, PMBG. I think the domain is PMBG Law. So if they go to our website, of course, they've got the phone number, they've got the email address, and even if they Google me, and we've got now an automated or a computer-based phone system, so it's a lot easier to get calls out of the office. So I've enjoyed it. Thank you for having me. I hope I gave you enough time
in the description, and I know that you've got an excellent website. We've seen it, and you have a contact page. So I'll make sure that we put that in the description below.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you. And till next time.
You bet. Thank you for having me.
Thanks.